welcome to bexbugoutsurvivor tailoring series. On this one we're looking at the DPM long back. I think you would need a long back Bergen to do this. This part here, this back pad, is really unforgiving on your back, so we need to soften all this out. I'm going to soften it out by using something we already have, which is usually stowed inside the pack. We're going to use that on the outside, which will give all the comfort we need from these individual ribs that run up and down. So let's utilise something we already have in the pack to make comfort outside the pack. Okay, I'm going to use some utility straps here. I've tried the 25mm, I'm using the larger straps here. I don't need a bottle, I need a pack slider, and all I'm going to do is sew 2 bands across here. I've already done one here and one here. We'll see the how-to of this in a minute, but I do need to redo them. You can buy utility straps individually in this colour, like this, to provide the actual cushioning and support on these ribs of your Bergen here. I'm going to use one of these, which is the Bergen 3/4 length inflatable mat, which has the brass valve there, and this is what is going to be folded into quarters and strapped under here to give support on these actual ribs. On one side I've sewn in the slider with the webbing coming all the way across. Higher up, this here, as neat as that is, it does need unpicking because I think it's in the wrong place for me. It's all trial and error. I haven't left enough webbing either, so I want to try and fix that. Comes right up to the harness at the top. I haven't left that much room for the adjustment here, hence me cutting that strap a little too short, unpicking and re-sewing, but it is on and it works. And I can tighten down on this part here. Right, as far as comfort goes, the ribs that work their way up the back is so comfortable. It's so comfortable. And you'll see this utility strap is already double stitched here. I might have to undo this double strapping, maybe. I'll see if I can get the sewing all through both parts of this. So bring in my inflatable, this is the 3/4 BCB. Fold it in half and half again by its length. And I'm just going to offer it up to the spine of the Bergen, and it needs to come underneath these shoulder straps here. Something like that. So let's get rid of this a second. Come in with the utility strap and sew into there. Actually, this slider here, somewhere about there I think, and the other pack slider perhaps I'll put somewhere down here where the kidney pad is. Pull the frame out so I can get my hand inside to work. So shoulder harness here, these are the ribs, and I was thinking of something like this until I realised that'll probably be sticking in my back. I'm best sewing it actually to the side of the Bergen like that. I'm going to split this stitched double sided webbing. It's got 2 layers on, so I need to separate them. in this little box stitch. It might even have 3 layers. Let's see how much I can cut out. Yeah, it is tripled over, and I only want it doubled, so I can afford to trim a bit of this up now. And I can even follow the same box stitch here. There's no need to take them stitches out, it'll give me a guide to follow. So that's how it is, and I'll be sewing a box here. If I just undo it and re-thread it, I can have the box on the outside. I'll follow its shape. There, that's better. So I'm going to have to put my hand inside the Bergen, and I think putting it on the side here. So I'll do this first one like an experiment. If it works out, I'll do the same lower down. If it doesn't work out, all I have to do is unpick the stitches and try again. So this is the side where the rocket pocket goes. You can see the zip for the rocket pocket with the shoulder harness here. So you should have a good orientation. And it's going on to this sleeve here, I think. Best option for me here would be a sewing awl. The buttle just on this seam line here, right at the top, centered nicely. It is all trial and error. This is a new idea. Haven't done it before. And like I said, if it doesn't work, I'm not bothered. I'll just have to redo it. But hopefully it'll work. Let's get that first stitch in, which is always the hardest one. Once this first stitch is in, it helps. That's pretty good, pretty good. If I wouldn't have had a box of stitches already, I'd have got my pen and penned the box in. Nothing looks worse than having stitches that aren't straight. It looks terrible. Started here, come across, and as I do this line here, I want to make sure I'm still in a straight line. So now is the time to adjust how straight I am. Right, I know that is secure. It's pretty much out of the way. I need to come over to the other side and put some webbing here. So I'm keeping the label side up with the NSN number. I don't know why, I just like it.
Rises like Olympus above the Serengeti. I seek to cure what's deep inside, frightened of this thing that I've become. It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. I bless the rains down in Africa. I bless the rains down in Africa. It's gonna take some time to do the things I never had.
Okay, I think that's it. Last stitch in here. It's not too bad at all. I followed the identical stitches. But for now, that should be enough to test the theory of whether I can get a pad under here and tighten it down to make a bit of cushioning against these ribs here. Well, that has worked out really nice. That is really soft against my back. I think this is going to be a really good option to get a lot of comfort into this Bergen using a bit of kit that would otherwise be inside. I've unpicked it all and I've put it back together a lot better. It's always worth making a prototype of your idea, and if it does need changing, just unpick it, start again. I'll show you the changes I made to the stitching. I've actually looped the fabric under itself so it's sewn from the inside rather than the outside. So this is the new improved method of stitching. That's new to me anyway. When I sewn the box onto here, obviously you could see the box, so instead I fold the fabric over and stitch from the inside, and of course then the outer webbing covers that up quite nicely, so the stitching is being hidden by the actual strap, so when it's tightened we don't see that box. This here is a pack slide and the webbing off the floating lid I made, and I did the same thing. I put the box stitch visible up here. I mean, it's functional, it's strong and it works. So I do have some 25mm webbing left over which I can fold over, and it'll just hide that box stitch at the top. So that's all the improvements now put onto this pack, reworked, and this time I've got a normal bit of foam cut out of an old sleep mat in. So if you haven't got an air pad, don't worry about it. A bit of old foam will do, and we'll have a look at that now. So this is just standard army roll mat, an old one I had, and this works great. The improved strap system, a generous tail which I didn't have the first time round, so make sure you've got enough tail so you've got something to grab hold of, and the hidden stitching here. Let me just take all this out. and that also makes for a great kneeling pad, or slip it under your feet in your hammock or in your tent to give the back of your heels a little bit of extra insulation. All sorts of jobs just a little bit of foam can help you out with. So let's have a look where the buttle here was sewn in. At this point here you can see where it was sewn from the inside, so when I bring this over it's nice and neat down the back there. This will hold an air pad or a foam pad, anything that's going to cushion your back against the ribs there. The trick I used to hide the stitching has also been implemented on the floating lid also here. It's exactly the same kind of trick of hiding your stitches from underneath, so when that is pulled tight and the buttle comes over, that's the only bit of stitching you're going to see there. Now a lot of professional tailors, where you send your Bergen away, will do you a foam pad for your back or some kind of cushioning, but that is a little more multifaceted. I can put all kinds of pads behind there. So I've given you all my tricks and tips for this, and that's me done.